Hello friends, welcome to my channel Testing Matters. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Pritpal. I have over 16 years of experience in software testing. Through my channel, I share my knowledge about different aspects of testing like manual, automation, non-functional performance, etc. And I also help candidates in cracking interviews for manual as well as automation testing. So today we will going to cover a new topic on Selenium, which is frequently asked in interviews as well, which is none other than how to perform scrolling using Selenium WebDriver. I will cover both vertical as well as horizontal scrolling. So first, let me show you how which are the operations we are going to perform. So firstly, we will perform vertical scrolling on this website. By the way, this is Happy Liberated Soul. This is my own blog. This is a happiness blog, and I write on spirituality, relationship, health, and wealth on this channel, on this blog. And if you like to read on these topics, you are free to go through my blog, and I will leave the link in the description box. And we will simply open this blog and we will do some vertical scrolling up and down. So if you see that these are the articles which are shown, and we will do vertical scrolling like this. And then after that, we need to perform horizontal scrolling. For that, we are going to use w3schools.com. And if you see, let me close the inspect. If you see this web page, there is one image and there is a slider to do horizontal scrolling here. So we will in this module, in this block on this web page, we will do horizontal scrolling like this on the right and on the left. We will perform this activity. So we will use two websites. One is Happy Liberated Soul, which is my blog, and the other is W3 Schools. So let me write the code for it. I will name it as scroll demo. I'm using WebDriver Manager dot Firefox dot setup. So this will set up the Firefox for us. Now we will use WebDriver. We'll do the necessary imports for the WebDriver as well as Firefox driver. I will do driver.get to open my blog. I will copy the URL and paste it in the double quotes. So this will open my blog. And now we need to perform the scrolling. So for scrolling, we have two functions basically. We have scroll by and scroll into view. So we will use both of them one by one. And we need JavaScript executor because these are the methods of JavaScript. So we will be needing JavaScript executor in order to run the JavaScript. Let me name it as JS. So let me import, and then we need to typecast driver and assign to this JavaScript executor object. So for typecasting, we will mention it in the bracket and then we will assign the driver. In this way, now we can use our JS as a JavaScript object reference. We use execute script method and we specify the JavaScript code here as arguments. So firstly, we use scroll by and it is mentioned like this: window dot scroll scroll by. So it takes two arguments. One is for x-axis and the other one is for y-axis. So since we are talking about the vertical scroll, we will not mention anything in the x-axis. We are only concerned about the y-axis, which is the second argument. And let me mention as we will perform 1000 pixels downward scroll on my block. And it takes two arguments and the second argument is nothing. So we will just mention double quotes. We have to close it here. No, yeah. The first argument in double quotes, window dot scroll by 0 in x-axis and 1000 in the y-axis. And we are closing the double quotes, and in the second argument there is nothing. So we have mentioned a blank double quote. So this will basically perform a downward scroll by 1000 pixels. And similarly, we will perform the upward scroll as well. So let's make it 700, and for upward scroll, we have to mention it as minus. So this will perform the downward scroll and this statement will perform the upward scroll in the body of the web page. So let's run it. This will happen very fast, so be careful in watching. So I'm running just a second. I think it was already cancelled and okay, this was open. I need to close this. Okay, perfect. Now just I need to execute. So initially the screen will be at the top and the blog is open, and in quick succession it will go down. So guys, basically the scroll was happening, but it was happening so fast it was not visible. The window was scrolling down by 1000 pixels and then it was scrolling back by 700 pixels, and that's why it was not visible. So let me increase the number of pixels. I am making it 10,000 and then I will scroll it back by 5,000. Scroll down by 1000 pixels, 10,000 pixels, and scroll up by 5,000 pixels. Okay, let me make it 8,000. Scroll down by 8,000 pixels and scroll up by 5,000 pixels. And let's see how it appears. I'm closing the previous window. Just a second. So no, not this one. So this one I'm closing. This is the manual one. So let's yeah. So we will rerun it again. It was running fine, just at it was not visible because it was happening so fast and scrolling up as well. So basically it scrolled down and it scrolled up. From here it scrolled down by 8000 pixels and then it scrolled up by 5000 pixels. This can be made more visible by using thread dot sleep. It will sleep for 3 seconds in between, and let me add the throws declaration. Yeah, perfect. And rerun it again so that at least you guys are able to see that it is scrolling perfectly. First, it will scroll down, pause. Now it will scroll up, scroll up. Perfect. So this is how we perform scrolling down and scrolling up. Now, if we want to scroll to a particular element, and how we can achieve this? So in my blog, if I want to, let's say, I want to scroll to, okay, I want to scroll to February 2000. This element I want to scroll down to. So I can simply take the text and try it. It is the anchor element A. So let me take the text from here. Text is equal to this. It is not finding. We need to mention like this. So it is finding. So we want to scroll to this element. Driver dot find element by xpath. So we have assigned this web element to E, and let's import the web element class. And now we will again use JavaScript executor to scroll to this particular element. js.execute script, and in it we will mention our code. Arguments dot scroll into view is the method which will basically scroll this element into view, and this element will be specified in the second argument. We will close the double quote here, and this is how it will work. Arguments, the 0th argument, which is this, and scroll into view is the method which we are going to use. So let's try to run it again. Let's add one more thread dot sleep after the upward scrolling and see how it goes. Remember, we are intending to go to February 2020. Scroll up, and now it scroll down to February 2020. So this was our intent, that this element come into the current view. So we were around here and we scrolled here. Wherever the element on which we want to scroll into view is located on the web page, our page will automatically scroll to that element. So if we if I want to, let's say I want to scroll down till here. We can do that as well. So older post is the text here. I replace this with older post. And before running my code, I will also test it in the source that there is only one element with this XPath, so that there is no ambiguity. So there is only one element with this XPath. So I just replaced the XPath with older post. And now after the code is run, we will be somewhere around here on the page. So let me rerun this code. First, it will scroll down by 100 pixels, 1000 pixels, 10,000 pixels. Scroll up and again scroll down to older posts. So this is how we do the horizontal, how we do the vertical scrolling down, vertical scrolling up, and then scroll to a particular element. Now we will focus on the horizontal scrolling. As I told earlier in the beginning of the video, we will achieve it by using W3 School's website, this web page, and then we will do horizontal scroll here inside this block in which the image is present. So again, we will open another URL in the same window. It is not a very good practice to use the same window, but in order to save time, I am using the same window. Basically, the window which is opened, in which my blog is opened, Happy Liberated Soul. In same window, it will replace the URL with this one and perform our operations. And we will use our JavaScript reference to JavaScript object. So now our goal is to perform the horizontal scrolling. So in order to do it, we first need to locate the element in which the image is present. We are going to perform our horizontal scroll in this block. We need to identify the block which is just above the image. So if we see, this is the image. These are different images like the forest image and this one, the one which is present here. So just above the image, there is a div and it is mentioned as the class is scroll container. So In order to perform the horizontal scrolling, we need to locate the parent container. In this case, it is this div, and its locator is simply div @class is equal to the class name. Close. So there is only one such element, and it is our XPath is working fine. We will use this XPath to perform the horizontal scrolling inside this block or inside this element. Let me mention it as scroll block is equal to driver dot find element by XPath. So we need to perform horizontal scrolling. Again, we will use the JavaScript executor object. Argument 0, just like we used in the previous step. Dot. For this, the method is scroll left. Scroll left is the method. Okay. And we will mention the value that by how many pixels we want to scroll to the right. So let's say I mention it as 400. So by 400 pixels, it will scroll to the right. And what it will scroll? It will scroll this element, which we identified in the previous step. So we are scrolling, scroll left is the function name, and we specify the value by which it want to scroll. So this is a positive value. So positive value means it will scroll to the right, and if we mention the negative value, it will scroll to the left. So it will, and the block in which it is going to perform this activity is this one we identified as a parent block for our image. It was a div. So under this block, it will do the horizontal scrolling to the right. Let me make it 600. And then horizontal scrolling to the left, in which we will mention it as, let's say, minus 400. And we will add a sleep in between so that you are able to see the scrolling successfully. Okay, let me rerun it. So firstly, it will open my blog Happy Liberated Soul, and it will do the vertical scrolling, and then it will open the W3 schools webpage, and it will perform vertical scrolling, horizontal scrolling using these lines of code, first to the right and then to the left. So the scroll up and again scroll to the older post, and now it replaced the URL with W3 schools webpage. The page is open. Focus here. It will do the scroll to the right and then to the left. This page has some advertisement, so that's why it will be slightly, it will take some time, but just focus on the image. Okay, so I know there is one problem. This element is not located successfully. Probably because this is a block, and if you remember correctly, in one of my previous videos, I covered the part of frames. So probably this entire image is present inside some frame. So let's identify if we have some frame. That could be the reason why the element did not got located successfully. If I see here, div, div, this is probably it is inside the frame. So let me search by iFrame. There are 29 such elements, but we need it inside the tag. So let's search it like this. So okay, there is one iframe, and if I select this and go below it, and this is our div which we are intending to locate. So clearly it is present inside the iframe. This iframe, it is present inside the iframe. So in order to avoid the problem, we first need to locate the iframe, and then we need to switch to the iframe, right? And there is another iframe. So this is the one which is immediate above the element which we are trying to find. So this iframe, inside the iframe, this is present. So if we identify, if we locate this iframe, we will be able to easily perform our operations. So let's first write the code to locate the iframe, and then accordingly switch to the iframe. So driver dot, I will directly driver dot switch to frame, and we can directly mention the web element here. So how we will mention the web element? We will do driver dot find element by capital B by x bar, and we will mention the element as iframe and id as, we have to mention at the rate, id is equal to, inside the single quote, id is equal to this, and square bracket close and quotes close. So I have directly, in the switch to statement, I have directly mentioned the frame to which we want to switch to, and once we are switched to the frame, we can easily perform the operations on the elements which are present inside the frame. So let's quickly try to rerun it. Let's close it and rerun it. So it will again quickly perform the vertical scrolling on the happy liberated soul. You see, it performed some sort of scrolling, waited, and then it scrolled back here. So this is how we can perform the horizontal scrolling inside the block, which was div in this case, which was inside the frame. So first we switched to the frame using this switchTo method, and switchTo frame, I directly mentioned the code to locate the frame as an argument, and then we used the JavaScript executor. We used the scroll left function. We mentioned the number of pixels by which we want to scroll. If we use the positive value, it will scroll to the right. If we use negative value, it will scroll to the left. And we will mention the element on which we want to do this scrolling. So the element was the parent element of the image, which was a div in this case. And this way we can achieve vertical as well as horizontal scrolling. And the difference was that in case of vertical scrolling, we were scrolling on the body of the web page itself, and there was no need to mention any particular element because we were dealing with the entire web page. So we mentioned window and scroll by. So we were operating on the entire window. But in case of horizontal scrolling, we were working in the context of a particular div inside the image was present and within which we were going to perform the horizontal scroll. That's why we mentioned is it element, that locator of the element in this JavaScript code as a second argument. And here we use 0 as index of the argument, since the index starts from 0 and this was our first argument. So it means that for the first argument, which is this, we are going to perform this operation, which is scroll left to the right and scroll left to the left using the negative value. So guys, I hope this video was helpful to you, and if you learned something new, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for watching more such awesome videos, and do press the bell button as well. It will notify you when I upload a new video, and share this video among your friends. Thanks for watching. I will meet you soon in some next video which is as awesome as this.